This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
Wow.
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa, and the Women Voices, and a lot more. Not forgetting international news, BBC,
Wow.
CNN, ABC News. We bring you headlines from those standpoints.
Wow, that is very, very, very amazing.
So we say, join us every day on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media at 10 a.m. with the headlines.
Hello dear, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible information of our daily happenings in Liberia and the world at large.
Hello, K. Lyndon Toba. My name is Greg Courage Pa. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Tobo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
Wow.
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa, and the Women Voices, and a lot more. Not forgetting international news, BBC,
Wow.
CNN, ABC News. We bring you headlines from those standpoints.
Wow, that is very, very, very amazing.
So we say, join us every day on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media at 10 a.m. with the headlines of top stories in our country and the world at large on Focal Online TV.
Here in the driver's seat today to bring you information pertaining to all of the newspapers that I have within my possessions on today. My name is K. Lyndon Toba. It's such a privilege to be seated in the driver's seat, especially to inform Liberians about what is taking place in our motherland. There has been a lot of terrible information from coming in from Tutu-Taibang County. Lots of Liberians have been trapped into a very tragic situations. One could term it as the year-end tragic situations in Liberia. That particular development is extremely horrible. The death toll continued to rise because there are a lot of people who were affected as a result of that particular tanker blast. So the death toll is increasing gradually. So we will definitely update you from a very reliable sources. That is the Daily Observer newspaper, the Front Page African newspaper, the Hot Pepper newspaper. So there are lots of new developments that you can not just afford to miss. So stick to as we keep updating you with what is unfolding. So let's go quickly to the newspaper we have in our possessions today. We have the Daily Observer newspaper, and the headline reads, Police commander caught in tanker explosion. Wow, that is very heartbreaking. A police commander is caught into a tanker explosion. Police commander caught in a tanker explosion. That story can be found within the Daily Observer newspaper. Let's go over it again. Liberia will be different under my leadership. Liberia will be different under my leadership. That is a quotation drawn from President-elect Joseph Yema Boakat on yesterday as he received his certificate from the National Elections Commission. Liberia will be a different country under my leadership. President-elect Boakat declares as next certificate him and Kun as the winning presidential ticket. So let's go over to the Front Page African newspaper. Rise Up Humanity Incorporated in collaborations with Yayi Initiative identifies with Christians Orphanage Home for the first season. Rise Up Humanity Incorporated in collaborations with Yayi Initiative identifies with Christian Orphanage Home for the first season. That is very welcoming. Another welcoming development. Let's go over to Front Page Africa again. Ambassador Andy calls for fair justice in upholding peace, urges traditional leaders to promote traditions void of FGM. I will read that again. That seems to be interesting. Ambassador Andy calls for fair justice in upholding peace, urges traditional leaders to promote tradition void of FGM. For those of you who don't know what FGM is female genital mutilation. There are lots of programs and awareness that has been conducted over the last few years and there still continue to be more awareness in a wake of incentivizing or encouraging our people to actually prevent the acts of FGM. Let's go over to the Inquirer newspaper. Year-end tragedy. Petrol tanker explosion killed dozens in Tututa. Year-end tragedy. Petrol tanker explosion kills dozens in Tututa. That is very terrible. That is extremely terrible, heartbreaking. Year-end tragedy. Petrol tanker explosion kills dozens in Tututa. So we'll move over to the last headlines on the Inquirer newspaper. What is going on within Rebuilders Party? What is going on within Rebuilders Party? Rebuilder Party is one of the less known political party that participated recently in the 2023 presidential and general elections. So they are less known, but they participated into the political process of our country. So that is all of the headlines. So let's just take a short break. When we come back, we will fill you in as it relates to the content of all of those newspapers that have been read to you. Okay, welcome back, folks. It's good to be back. Please share. For those of you who are watching this broadcast, please share our live feed to encourage other people to get informed about all of the major development taking place from the various newspaper we have in our possession. It is also important to stick and still with Focal Line TV because this is the only independent radio stations, online television stations that bring you information as you want it to be. So let's go over to the Daily Observer newspaper. Police commander caught in tank car explosion. Let's give you the details. The commander of the Liberia National Police, Total Detail, Mufi Jabate, was one of those who were caught in the tragic gasoline blast that took place in Total, Bon County on Tuesday, December 26. Also among those affected by the explosion was the commander of the community watch forum of the area, Kova Jukat. The tragic gas tanker blast has already claimed the lives of at least 40 individuals. Commander Jabete, who is currently receiving intensive medical care in Ganta, explained that he and Juka had gone to the accident scene to prevent looting and controlled the crowd when they were caught in the explosion. When I came from Banga, the accident had just occurred, but the citizens were rushing in to loot the gas. So the community watch forum commander and I went on the scene to drive them away, Jabate said. The crowd became so huge and uncontrollable, and suddenly the falling tanker exploded, leaving everyone in disarray. Unfortunately, they survived, although they suffered significant burns. It is God who led me out of that place. I could have died, Jabate said in a very low voice, surrounded by family members. Dr. Abba Wikola, who is treating the two victims, confirmed that they are conscious and unable to recount what happened. We received two of the victims and are conscious and explaining their own experiences, Dr. Wikola added. Commander Jabete sustained burns over 35% of his body surface, while Commander Jukas burned over 60% of his body surface. The exact number of casualties from the incident is still unknown, with varying speculations. Some reports suggest that at least 40 people have lost their lives so far. The owner of the tanker, Mr. Udasha Opa Kanun, a popular businessman in Nimba County, is said to be deeply distressed by the loss, but has yet not made any public statement. I came from Monrovia and arrived in Tototai. They told me that my son Koya got burned while driving the citizens around the tanker, but I thank God that he lived, said Ivan Juka, a father of Kova. He explained how he saw several bodies covered with tarpaulin, including pregnant women and children, and several motorcycles were burned beyond repairs. More of the bodies I saw were unrecognizable, making it impossible for family members to identify their lost relatives, said Otello S. Batwa, an eyewitness who traveled to Ganta. The incident has caused sadness throughout Ganta, and some individuals believe that the lawless behavior of citizens in response to accident is a contributing factor. People are calling on the government to take measures to discourage such behavior and ensure safety of accident victims. This is actually bad for our country at the time of the year to see people die in such huge number. Professor Andrew Cry, a renowned instructor in the area, said the government needs to put a mechanism to deter people from this lawless attitude. Sekou Bamba Jabate, the brother of the police commander, is urging the authorities to airlift the seriously wounded victim to take full responsibility for their treatment. He also emphasized the importance of staying away from the accident sites to avoid further incidents. The Banga Kakata Highway has been recognized as a vulnerable and dangerous route where accidents often take place, lead to looting. There have been allegations that so-called rescuers along the highway may even harm unconscious victims and steal their valuables. With this being said, this is how we transition over to another headlines. Liberia will be a different country under my leadership. President-elect Waka declares as next certificates him and Kung as the winning presidential ticket. President-elect Joseph Newman Boakai has assured the Liberian people that their votes will not go in vain, promising to make Liberia a different country under his leadership. He expressed his commitment at a certification program held for him and Jeremiah Pankun, the winners of the 2023 presidential election, at the headquarters of the National Elections Commission on December 27, 2023. With the official certifications of his victory in the November 2023 presidential runoff election, President-elect Joseph Boakai stated, "We want to renew our commitment to our people. I pledge that Liberia will be a different country under my leadership. We will work tirelessly to ensure that the people benefit from their votes. Together we will build Liberia." President-elect Boakai thanked the Unity Party, the National Elections Commission, his family, and the men and women of the UP Alliance for their support. He also commended President Weah for gracefully conceding defeat even before the official results were announced by the National Elections Commission. "We want to thank our political adversaries, and particularly President Weah, who conceded even before the last vote was counted. He has committed his government to a peaceful transition. We expect that the will of the people has prevailed and must all listen," Boakai said. Highlighting the significance of the event, President-elect Boakai emphasized that the dividends of democracy must be felt by all Liberians across every town and village. He called on the entire nation to join him in the rebuilding of Liberia. "This event would be meaningless if Liberians cannot benefit from the dividends of democracy," he said. "This must not be seen on a perfunctory undertaking. It must be felt in every village, town, and city. It must be reverberate through our region and the world. Therefore, I called upon all Liberians to join me in building the country." In the coming weeks, Boakai disclosed that he and his vice president will outline their roadmap for progress and development, focusing on peace, development, and overall progress for the country. Over the next few weeks and during my inauguration, my vice president and I will lay out the roadmap for progress and development. We will fully articulate the pathway to peace, development, and progress, he said. On this occasion, we want to demonstrate our gratitude and renew our commitment to the Liberian people by these certifications. I pledge that Liberia will be different under my leadership. In the 2023 election, President-elect Boakai emerged victorious, defeating incumbent President George Weah by a narrow margin of 50.1% to 49%, restricting Weah to a single-term president. With this being said, this is how we move over to the front page African newspaper. Rise Up Humanity Incorporated, in collaboration with Yaya Initiative, identifies with Christians Orphanage Home for the festive season. The underprivileged living at the Christian Orphanage Home in Brovid will have some reason to smile during this festive season after being identified for the needs and assisted by a US-based NGO, Rise Up Humanity Incorporated, with a unique style of celebrating the Christmas festival. Unlike many organizations who usually give out food and non-food items, Yaya Initiative, in collaboration with a Liberian-based academic challenge institution, Yaya Initiative, sees no other way of celebrating the festival but to spend the day celebrating the diverse poem with orphanage at that center, sharing their love with them and presenting gifts and some food stuff as well. Christmas is most truly Christmas when we celebrate it by giving the light of love to those who need it most. Yaya Jallo, CEO of Yaya Initiative, said when representing the institution during her visit to the orphanage home. The Christians Orphanage Home, located in Brovid, was elected to share the love and blessings of the holiday by giving them a memorable Christmas gift as well. Besides sharing meals, The initiative also focused on giving orphanage orphans at the centers haircuts and grooming for the young boys and the young girls, getting their hair washed, tied, and braided. The goal, according to Madame Jalou, was intended for children here to feel that such grooming is a beautiful part of their outward appearance that expresses their inner beauty and also allows them to look their best for their Christmas. Additionally, a Christmas gift was hosted for the children, including fun and entertainment, food and drinks, Christmas gift, and taught for each clothing donations and sanitary pad for the young girls. Rise Initiative lauded the Yaya Initiative uh, and the amazing team of for assisting them in carrying out their Christmas initiative. Both organizations expressed their excitement to work together again in the future to make a difference in their communities. Yaya Initiative also commended Rise Humanity Incorporated donors for their monetary support and the Yuri team for this initiative. Madam Jallo noted that the gesture has helped the children at the Christian orphanage home to have a chance to feel included and enjoy this holiday season. Rise Humanity Incorporated further expressed hope of continuing assistance to the home and look forward to what comes in 2024 as it continues its mission by serving communities, advocating for voices unheard, and continuing its commitment to promoting human growth, development, and empowerment both in the U.S. developing countries. This is how we move over to another headlines on the front page African newspaper. And Ambassador Andy calls for fair justice in upholding peace, urges traditional leaders to promote traditions void of FGM. Culture Ambassador Julie Andy has emphasized the need for fair justice to prevail to uphold peace being enjoyed in the country. Speaking in Grand Cape County recently, when she was appreciated by the traditional woman for her role played in maintaining peace, promoting the Liberian culture and tradition void of female genital mutilation, and as well as encouraging them to send the girls' children to school. Ambassador Andy noted that peace will continue to reign once justice is served without partiality. According to Hall, the country is visibly divided and that the need to now reconcile the citizens is also key to upholding peace. We should start peace and reconciliation today. We should love one another today and we should all allow elections. We should not allow elections to divide us. The election finished, and that is what they call democracy, Ambassador Andy said. Justice comes with peace, so you must respect me and I respect you. Let's stay from the lies. The traditional queen frowned at lies and encouraged the women to be honest about the people and what they do. As, as she has repeatedly echoed, Ambassador Andy encouraged the traditional women to remain committed to positive traditional practices and abstain from harmful aspects. Ambassador Andy said the name the name they call Zoe. It is God that gives you to the power. You the power. Zoe doesn't go after the people. Zoe honors and respect people. With this, she encouraged the need of initiation without mutilations. As many as many have joined the campaigns to end female genital mutilation, Ambassador Andy urged campaigners to exhibit cultural dignity and respect for the traditional people. We must keep our people, and in keeping our culture, we must respect our ideals. Encouraging the president-elect, Judy Andy is confident that Mr. Bwaka will regard the traditional women. This, she believes, is possible since Bwaka himself is a traditional man. She further admonished President-elect Joseph Nyoman Bwaka to include women in his planned agriculture program for the country. I am convinced he will be far-sighted to know, as he stated in his letter, that he is president for all and not one people. And as he said, he will look up, we look down, we will look right, we will look left, and we will put our hands behind Ambassador Andy stated. Ambassador Ambassador Andy recounted her way days experience in Grand Cape and noted that she was able to organize the Liberia Crusade for Peace to help resolve conflict through a peace program at Bowater side with across the Sierra Leone border. She said, I am new to Grand Cape Mount. Before I came traditional queen, I knew Grand Cape Mount County. My auntie Musu Dudu Tucker, she is from Grand Cape Mount County. I have cousins from Grand Cape and she records her connections with the county. Considering her experience, she frowned at conflict but elected to remain focused. Ambassador Andy lauded the traditional women of Grand Cape Mount, whom she noted took us by surprise for their appreciation. The traditional women during her appreciation ceremony held at St. G Youth Center in Grand Cape Mount County said they stand with Ambassador Andy in her endeavors and will continue to remain with her for bringing them to her to light line the traditional women saw other appropriate ways to improve Andy's recognitions, and they recognize her for the strides she has made to significantly impact the lives through hostings of programs that seek to raise awareness of female genital mutilation. With this being said, this is how we move over to the Inquirer newspaper. Year-end tragedy, petrol tanker explosion kills dozens in Totota. Several residents of Totota Township, Lower Bunk County, are reportedly feared dead following the explosions of 9,000-gallon fuel tankers in the aftermath of an accident while leading to Banga from Monrovia to Tuesday. From Monrovia on Tuesday, December 26. According to our witnesses, when the incident took place, nobody got injured or killed, but some motorcyclists and community dealers took advantage of the situation by illegally collecting gasoline from the tanker using gallons and sponges. The police commander in Tututa Township and others allegedly decided to use electric baton to disperse the crowd from the tanker because of the danger it posed, but the crowd remained stubborn. The flammable gasoline tanker had just dropped within the vicinity, and apparently its engine was not yet off yet, coupled with grazing sun, burst into the flame several minutes after, thereby killing several people, including police commander and others who had gone as a rapid safety response team. When the tanker turned over, the people came from all over. Some were monitoring the gas spilling, but others saw it as an opportunity to loot, an eyewitness explained. In no time, the tanker caught fire and many people could not escape the blast, but some went running with flame out of the fire on them, the eyewitness now added. The victims who could not escape the fire because they came in close contact with the gasoline, the fire caught most of the victims because the gas was on them. I do not believe that the people of that many people will survive, but if some do, they will survive. They will suffer severe burn. He added. As news coming in said, the deceased have been buried in a mass grave. The state-owned broadcaster reported that both the dead burned beyond recognitions and those critical have been contained at the Phoebe and Ganta United Methodist Hospital in Bong and Nima counties. It is being reported that at least 27 persons have sustained severe burns or nearing death are on admissions at both the 14 military hospitals and JFK Hospital, having been transported to Monrovia from Tototai on Tuesday night following the incident. Phoebe Hospital Public Relations Officer Samuel Bogart told the media that the hospital received over 81 victims from the incident, some of whom are dead, severely burned beyond recognition and could not even be identified by their skulls and rib bones. He added, being that the Phoebe hospital could not cope with the situation, many of the victims were transported to Ganta United Methodist, 14 military, and John F. Kennedy hospitals. Willie paid tribute to Bond County lawmakers, Senator-elect Johnny Quaid and Representative-elect Norman Briggs Mensa for making available their private vehicle because they were overwhelmed by the numbers of victims, adding that the number received could rise up to 200. Others in critical conditions were taken into their private homes in Totota and were not transported to Phoebe. Therefore, the possibility of the death toll rising is high, he disclosed. Meanwhile, the Phoebe hospital is overwhelmed by the emergency cases, and the hospital administration has begun making SOS calls to the public for essential medical drugs and supplies needed, including examination, glove, and antibiotic, fluid, metro infusions, and analgesic painkillers. Others are surgical glove, 50% tubing, canopy 18, and so on. It remains to be seen how the story unfolds and the exact number of casualties sustained. But this tragedy occurrence is sure to cause many people, especially those directly affected and their loved ones, to end on a sour note. With this being said, this is how we move over to the last headlines as it relates to the developments from the Inquirer newspaper. The Inquirer newspaper. What is going on within the Rebuilders Party? The Liberia's Rebuilding Party, popularly known as Rebuilders, has officially reiterated its earlier suspensions of Councillor Luther N. Yoff of the party's former standard bearer. The issue begins dating back to December 7, 2022 for acts unbecoming and totally incompatible with his statute for denigrating the office of the national chairperson of the party, when he arbitrarily removed the party chairperson from all of his chat rooms and illegally took down his post. Consequently, said actions impeded the constitutional authority conferred on the chairman to supervise the day-to-day affairs of the party in a bid to subvert the party's anticipated internal post-election auditing, supposedly to be supervised by the party's national chairperson, Councillor Levi B. Walker, pending the outcome of an ongoing investigation, which reached the National Executive Committee meeting. In a release issued to Tuesday, December 26, 2022, it stated in clear terms that the former standard bearer did not receive any approbations from the party to serve as administrator of its various chapters, noting that said appointment was self-proclaimed by its former standard bearer of the complete detriment of the party's members whose constitutional rights to freedom of speech and expression were effectively curtailed through the arbitrary introductions of censorship by the former standard bearer, choosing unto himself the illegal authority to take down their post placed in the party's chat room deemed unfavorable to him. He also justified such unorthodox behavior by imaginarily enthroning himself as being the owner of the Liberia Rebuilding Party, knowing fully well as such illusionary mindset defeats the cardinal portions of the national elections guidelines on the formations of operations of any political party in the Republic of Liberia, and therefore runs contrary to the dictate of every democratic known practice and accepted by civilized institutions everywhere, with the Liberia Rebuilding Party being no exception. The release added that the Liberia Rebuilding Party is utterly disappointed in its former standard bearer's attitude of attempting to create divisions and disunity in the party by establishing parallel leadership and command structures so purposefully to undermine its duly constituted constituted authority through its unilateral association with folks are the alliance of opposition parties who endorse the Unity Party in the presidential runoff as a way to shield him. It can be recalled that since the Liberia Rebuilder Party voted upon the decision and designated some party executive to execute the party's mandate, it is former Senator Barrow, who was not even designated to head the endorsement team, however, has since strategically positioned himself to pursue his personal agenda. As such, the Liberia Rebuilder wishes to categorically distance itself from such conduct, as its former Senator Barrow's actions over the period has since proven to be self-centered, selfish, completely inimical to the objectives of the noble party the press statement maintained. Meanwhile, Yofu has since been kindly requested to turn over all party properties in his possession to the office of the Secretary General, as well as warning the general public against transacting any forms of business with him on behalf of the party while undergoing his suspension, or anyone or institution could be doing it at their own rate. When contacted, Yofi said that the governing council suspended for time indefinite several individuals and not just him. He stated that there are meetings held on Friday, December 22nd, 2023, and the governing council took the decision on several persons, including the national chairman, Councillor Lava B. Walker, Rosalind L.I.B. Manning Smith, expiring for Electoral District 1, Magibi County, and the youth chairman, Salif Kodur, who was expelled by the party, among others. With this being said, this is how we will zero on all of the news reading and just fill you in as it relates to some of the trending political situations that has been taking place in our country over the weekend. One of the most terrible informations happening in Liberia that has become a topical issues is the issues about the tanker blast. That particular development is extremely, extremely sorrowful and heartbreaking. Whenever we have been hearing that whenever there is an accident along the highway, people will pretend, of going to rescue people involved into such incidents. But sometimes when they go there, they also go there with a sinister motive. So with all of those accounts being provided, I want to believe that many of the people who gone there at that particular area went there with a mindset that it was an opportunity to actually loot. You understand? So why in the process? Because those were accounts, or these are accounts we are getting up, and more of these accounts will definitely be changing, because there are lots of people who were standing. Some of those people were standing. Some of those people who knew the damaging effects and the repercussions of this situation, who, of course, perhaps they just stood up and said, I will not go there. And there are other people who were passing by. But again, this particular development is extremely, extremely terrible. And the most disappointing part about it is that their bodies are burned to a point that you cannot even recognize them. So even if at all, how will you even get to even understand that your family member was involved into such terrible situation when his or her body cannot even be recognized? That is extremely, extremely heartbreaking. That is extremely, extremely heartbreaking. Liberians need to actually learn. There need to be more awareness, both from several civil society organizations, the media, and the Public Safety Department of the Liberia National Police. There need to be more awareness, especially regarding accidents of such nature. There actually need to be more awareness. That particular devastation is extremely terrible for our country, Liberia. The other time we had another situation in Red Light, where several people, many of whom were kids, they got trapped into a fire disaster. It is about time that the new administration need to set up a well-established mechanism into place to curb these situations. We need a decentralized sections of the fire service. We need an increased budgetary allocation of the fire service. We actually need those things. They are very, very important. An increased budgetary allocations, because when the people don't have the needed resources, they will definitely not be proactive. And also, they also need the best logistics as possible. We need to think out of the box. We actually need to think out of the box. We cannot continue having this situation over and over. This is extremely disturbing for those of the people who were entrapped into that horrible situation. Many families are now in tears. Many families are now in tears. And this is about time the government, humanitarian, prominent citizens, it is about time that you need to cater to those people who are still alive. Thanks to Representative-elect Johnny Pay and Meman Brisa, those two did an amazing job. They went as far as providing their personal vehicle. I'm being told that they were so much involved into the process. It is about time that humanitarians should move in. This is extremely terrible. And I like the way the Inquirer newspaper put it. A year in tragedy. So we want to acknowledge those of you who have been following Namu Samson. Namu Samson, he has been following. And thanks to all of you who have been following but didn't comment, sticking still with Focal Online TV, please encourage other people. There are other people who, they want to get informed about the situations, but at times they are so much tired with the work and they are unable to go down Waterside, Broad Street, or wherever they sell the newspaper. So you can just stick at about this time, 10 o'clock. You can just stick to this particular time, and we'll definitely bring you development as it relates to all of the situations taking place in Liberia. My name is K. Lyndon Toba. Because we are pressed up with time, we will cut this particular segment of today a day. Thanks to all of you who have been following this particular broadcast. And this is how we choose to say bye-bye from my end.